pay attention on the road, that's the only way. Phone's blowing up, but you're in the driver's seat. Ignore the buzz, keep your eyes on the street. No text back, no scroll, just let it wait.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
In a world filled with deadlines and screens, sometimes we forget the simple joys of life, days filled with special moments. At Inward Half, we understand the essence of these moments. Feel the difference between our breathable fabrics and flexible apparel as you disconnect from the hustle and bustle and reconnect with what truly matters. Inward Half, simple luxury for on and off the course.
It's the Chase! It's the Chase! Live 1 to 3, Monday through Friday on Fan Run Radio, Fox Sports Knoxville. Listen to Chase and his friends on WKG. It's the Chase! It's the Scruffy City! Listen to his friends, and his friends are on WKGN. I'm always taking your calls on the Tennessee Vols. It's the Chase! It's the Chase! It's the Chase!
All right, Knoxville, the Chase is on a Monday afternoon, live from the White Claw Hard Seltzer Studios here in East Tennessee, where I'm joined alongside William Pattison of Overtime 6 to 8, Monday through Friday, the Chase 1 to 3, 4 hours of daily Tennessee Vols content between your two co-hosts today on a Monday. It's mock game week this week, William Pattison, and we've got a new intern on the other side of the glass here. He does talk sports in the morning. Jackson, good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good. Good to meet you. I like you're just jumping in, ready to go. We appreciate it, ready to rock. But we've heard good things from Talk Sports from John and Cody, so appreciate you jumping in here on the producing side. And we also got Garrett Armbrust here on a Monday back, first day of class back for Garrett. How was your first day?
It was good. One class. I think you know how the first day goes.
Yeah.
Literally every kid shows up. Like no one skips class. There's just thousands of people everywhere.
Yeah.
So, just wait till the first day it rains, and then campus will be empty. So,
There you go.
yeah.
Jackson, are you at UT too?
Yes, I am. I'm a senior.
Okay. How was did you do class today? How was it?
I had one, same class as Garrett. Light. It's pretty nice.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. William, do you still have you? I shouldn't say still. Have you ever had post-college nightmares that you're late for class or you forgot ad drop and you're like, oh my gosh? Because I had those for years every now and then where I'd wake up like just panicking because I just had a dream that I was late for class or I missed a final or something. And it was just, oh, right, I've been graduated for like 6 years. What am I doing?
Well, hearing, both those guys talk about having class today makes me feel a little bit older. Also living in Knoxville, seeing everyone flock back to campus, the traffic has picked up and you realize, okay, I'm not a part of this anymore. So I haven't really had one of those moments that you were describing, but it's been more so kind of like, wow, I'm not a part of that anymore. And it's, I don't know, it kind of makes you feel a little bit older.
Oh, 100%. I mean, I was graduating with my master's from UT a couple years ago when you're finishing up there and you're like, I remember graduation when you're like, oh, this is very different. Like graduating with your master's with a bunch of adults is very different than graduating from undergrad and everything else. You're like, just like we're both graduating, but it just feels like we're in completely different worlds and your your classmates are completely, it's just a different vibe altogether.
Yeah, I mean, I still know a lot of people that are still in school. I got a couple of my friends doing grad school, and they had first day of class today, and they're like, it's a totally different vibe. Like, we're still in school, but we're not a part of it anymore, type of deal. But I'm jealous for both Jackson and Garrett, man. I wish I was having a first day of class today.
There you go. Well, first day of class. Hope everyone here in East Tennessee had a great first day back. It's game week for high school football all across the state of Tennessee. I'll be at Maryville Alcoa on Friday covering that game. It's going to be a big-time affair at Alcoa. Out of the gate, big game action. We had the Jamboree scrimmages this past Friday all across Knoxville and East Tennessee. But high school football's here, week 0 with Kansas State and Iowa State in Ireland on Saturday. So we get that back. Garrett, he's like, that doesn't really move the needle for me. Garrett's locked in on Hawaii, Stanford later that evening, and he's got the scouting report ready. He's been gobbling the Oregon State Ben Golberson tape from 2022 just to get ready for Stanford, Hawaii. But the rest of us are, I think, more locked in on Iowa State and Kansas State.
Look, I'm locked in for them all. I mean, you mentioned Stanford and Hawaii. What about Sam Houston and Western Kentucky? What about
that's more of Garrett's language?
Ball too.
Yeah. What about UNLV? Dan Mullen making his debut this weekend against Idaho State. That's a classic waiting to happen.
The Alex Orgy / Anthony
Colandrea.
Yeah, one of them will be starting. I don't know who their QB1 is, but
I mean, they're very different quarterbacks, so they might both get action. Alex Orgy, more of a running back, not really.
UNLV's like last chance U. They have like 7 former 5-stars on their team.
I think we were talking about that last week. Maybe not on the air, but maybe kind of off the air. I mean, Justin Flo is on that team, former Oregon and Arizona linebacker. They got a couple of guys. Denver Harris is one of them too.
JoJo Earl.
There's
a bunch of them.
Yeah.
Running reps, man. You got to do what you can here at the top of the G5, and they're going to push Boise State, the preseason favorite, to go back-to-back in the CFP. They're going to have to get some great quarterback play, and Dan's going to have to plug and play.
We talked about it on Overtime last week. Who's like a sneaky college football playoff contender? And I did group of 5 teams, and I said UNLV could be one of them just because of the boom-bust potential with that roster. Having so many former, 5-star recruits and highly touted players now all kind of mixing up with Dan Mullen, who, keep in mind, when Dan Mullen got to Florida, that was a dumpster fire of a program at the time, and then Dan Mullen flipped him around and put him in a New Year's Six Bowl. They went up against Michigan in that Peach Bowl that year. I really like Dan Mullen. I think he's one of the best offensive minds in college football. Really excited to see what he does for the Running Rebels.
Absolutely, and we shall see. I think Dan Mullen, it was an interesting job. I mean, UNLV made some interesting offseason hires. UNLV hired Josh Pastner, formerly of Tech and Memphis.
Yes.
You're fairly familiar with. So they got some guys who've been out of coaching and on the broadcast booth on both accounts. So we'll see how Pastner and Mullen are able to jump back in and acclimate, because Mullen, you would think, would have had, if he waited a little bit longer, he could have gotten a power 2 job. If he just waited, like if I'm Dan Mullen, I'm waiting for like Wisconsin to see what Luke Fickell's doing. I might be waiting for Michigan State to see how that goes to Jonathan Smith in year 2. UNLV, I think, is just hard. And Barry Odom made it. I mean, we don't know if it's sustainable, because Barry Odom had 1 year where he breaks out, and we'll see if UNLV is a sustainable model. I mean, it's not as bad as like New Mexico, where there's really great piece by Chris Vanini of The Athletic. I don't know if y'all read it on New Mexico, and just how hard of a job. They lost everything. But on basketball too, because Richard Pitino goes to Xavier, and they're more of a, I think they actually in the article said that they actually, the Pit is what I think they call their basketball arena, actually makes more money than the football team. So it's one of those rare deals where the basketball team on the New Mexico side, Lobo country, they make more than football. But Bronco Mendenhall, then after 1 year where he kind of gets them back on the rails, Devin Dampier breaks out. Yeah. He makes a great hire at offensive coordinator, and then both of them go to Utah, and then Bronco to Utah State. So just it's brutal, man. It's life in the G5. Pretty brutal.
You can get gutted quickly out there.
Yes.
Yeah, I like Dampier a lot. He's a sneaky kind of top quarterback in college football type of pick. I mean, I don't think he'll be the best, but I think he could definitely be a top 10 guy at the end of the year. I really liked him at New Mexico. You bring up their basketball program. I love watching some Mountain West basketball at 11 o'clock on a Tuesday night. Those are some fun games. They were really fun 2 years ago. Last year, they were pretty fun. But I was a big JT Toppin fan before he transferred to Texas Tech. They crank out some really good players, and some of them stick around, like a Nick Clifford, who stayed at Colorado State for another year, and he was strong. But yeah, a lot of good group of 5 players, a lot of good group of 5 coaches.
Absolutely. So week 0, it's not a full slate, but it's great. And I was talking to Matt on the pod last night where we're going to be overwhelmed next week. So enjoy the fact that you're going to be like, man, I really wish we had more college football this weekend. This is not enough, because next weekend you've got Friday night Baylor Auburn. You've got obviously Tennessee and Syracuse, and just so many big time matchups on Saturday. Then you have a Sunday big time matchup, and you have a Monday night big time matchup. We get to see Bill Belichick in action on the sideline for North Carolina there. So you're going to get a whole heck of a lot of college football next weekend. Yeah. So enjoy the little appetizer this week, because you're going to be overwhelmed by Monday. You're like, man, I have watched a preposterous amount of college football.
The good thing about next weekend is there's like one good game per time slot.
Yeah.
Like noon is Texas, Ohio State, and then us.
I was gonna say not great for Tennessee fans. Yeah,
and then 3:30's Bama, FSU, which that might just be a complete blowout. And then you have Clemson, LSU at night. The night slate's pretty good.
Yeah,
but you don't have to like multi-view 4 different games at once because you have like Marshall and Georgia also playing. So
yeah,
Clemson, LSU. I'm looking forward to.
That's going to be a great one. Big time game. Can LSU stop the skid of just flaming out in the first game and putting their back against the wall? I don't know.
Game 1 for Clemson's national championship run.
Yeah. We'll see. I think Josh Payton in the spring had Clemson winning it all, right? With how many draft picks they have with his model. It's just they're going to have a lot of NFL draft picks in 2026.
Their wide receiver trio is pretty nasty.
Very good.
Yeah.
They're my number 1 team in the country. I believe they win the national championship this season. I've already placed my futures. Cade Klubnik for Heisman. I've sprinkled that as well. I'm big on Clemson this year.
You know where I have things going in college football this year. Williams just
we're only 10 minutes in. We can't get going with the Ty Simpson stuff again.
They're winning the SEC and probably the national championship.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry. I don't like it any more than you do, William. It's just you got to embrace it.
I don't like it at all.
Canada DeBoer year 2, man. You got to embrace it.
A couple weeks ago on the show, you were calling for his firing.
Who?
You.
Who?
You were like, oh, man, if he goes 9-3 this year, he might not be there next year.
100%. Yeah, it's Alabama, but I'm saying I don't think that's going to happen. But I'm saying if he does go 9-3 and misses the playoff, a 12-team format in back-to-back years, Alabama is one of the select few where I don't know if that stands. I don't know if you can go 0-2 in a 12-team playoff era at Alabama.
Who would they hire, though?
I don't know. If it's Alabama, I think they'd be all right. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I'm also predicting Alabama to win the national title this year. So,
I mean, you can keep that prediction like, you don't have to say it out loud.
I know.
Chase probably thinks they'll hire Ty Simpson's dad with the way he loves him so much.
Like Ty Simpson, he can play, man. It's going to be a good year. It's going to be a good year. When we also here on this Barry show, we have a jam-packed show for you guys today. We have Clarence Masamba arriving on video. Very tall, lanky guy. Looks like a ready-to-plug-and-play freshman. He's kind of the big wild card. I mean, outside of Aton Burke, who is also still not on campus. Shump made a prediction that he actually ends up being the starting number 2 for Tennessee this year, that being Berg. But Masamba, the final piece of the puzzle here, and better late than never, not involved in the summer practices. But I'm very curious what Masamba ultimately looks like here. But all eyes on obviously Joey Aguilar being named QB1. But William, you reported last week that that's been in the cards. Like we knew where this was trending, even as the leader of the Jake Army here, that this is where things were headed. But Masamba, man, he looks the part. He does not look like a true freshman, kind of like Dwayne Brown, where they come in and you're like, Masamba, I don't know how he's going to be able to shoot. I don't know what his defense and how up to speed how long it's going to take for him to get up to speed. But I am excited about Clarence Masamba.
Yeah, well, I really like when guys come over from overseas. It's a different style of basketball, a lot more structured, a lot more, analytical and getting into sets and having defensive schemes that are prepared. When you look at AAU basketball now, it's run up and down the court and whoever can, dunk it through their legs and pull up from 40 feet out from 3 is what's going to sell. Overseas, it's can you play basketball or not? And that's what gets you to the United States and play in college or the professional. So I'm a big fan of Masamba. I think Tennessee got a couple of really unique transfers or commitments from guys overseas this past cycle. And I think a couple of them could very well, fit into the rotation quickly and be a big part of Tennessee basketball this season.
I'm just so excited for hoops. There's just so many dudes. I'm excited to see how it works out at the 2-guard spot. So much competition there. Excited for Nate Mint. And I'm excited for Jacoby Gillespie. There's just a lot. I'm also just fine. I'm glad that we just settled the Joey Aguilar stuff. It's out in the open, and we can now just plan for the next 2 weeks and watch Brooks Austin talk about Joey Aguilar on his YouTube channel, the Film Guy Network, and feel good. I'm going to go in with a clean slate here over the next 2 weeks. Look, William, where I was at on the Merklinger train. Still might happen at some point this year. We don't know.
Yeah.
Tennessee's had injury problems at quarterback in the Heupel era for 3 of the last 4 years. We'll see if Joey Aguilar can make it through a full season, especially if he runs as much as people are anticipating over the course of an SEC schedule. We'll see on that regard. But hey, it's just a great story. And if he does ball out and he does run with this, it's going to be Tennessee. I think for national folks, they're going to have to really grind their teeth at Joey Aguilar being this awesome underdog story, because I think a lot of people are not going to want to do that. We're like, really? We have to look at Tennessee as this underdog, great story where Joey Aguilar super likable, and it all worked out. They won the trade, this, that, and the other. But yeah, I mean, it's here. I'm going in with an open, clean slate, open mind. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, and Syracuse follows suit this morning as well, announcing Steve Angeli will be the starter for the Orange. So you've got 2 transfer quarterbacks starting in Atlanta here in a couple of weekends.
Absolutely. Well, we have a jam-packed show for you guys today. We're going to talk about the college football playoff, potentially expanded to 24, 28 teams if the Big Ten had it their way. We'll talk about that coming out of the break here. We'll check in with our Grizzlies guy here with William Pattison to talk some Grizz at the bottom of hour number 1. We'll jump into Joey Aguilar conversation in hour number 2, talk about ESPN S&P Plus final projection for Tennessee in 2025. Savion Hyder making his commitment announcement tomorrow morning. What does that look like for Tennessee and Michigan right now, and a couple other big targets for Tennessee down the stretch? And then we'll react to Go Vols 247's Patrick Brown depth chart projections here in 2025 and talk about what our surprises, what aren't, what we make of it, and a whole lot more right here on The Chase, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM, and always streaming for free on that Fan Run radio app. Stick with us. It's The Chase.
For the fans, by the fans, this is Fan Run Radio, Knoxville.
Hello, is Tina there?
Who's this?
Yeah, this is Vince from the hit reality show Wives Don't Tell. Tina applied for our show to confess that her husband won't go to the doctor to get his erectile dysfunction checked. She said she's ready for a guy that can bring the heat.
All right, what the hell is going on? You know you're talking to her husband right now? Tina!
Well, she wrote the application that her man's performance is questionable. She's basically married to a coffee table. She also said, we live within driving distance to Men's Pro Knoxville, but he's too scared to get a blood test.
Oh my, she is done. She is so done.
Gotcha, Mike. It's nephew Tommy. Ain't no reality show. It's a prank. Men's Pro Knoxville is the real deal, fellas. Local experts, test results in minutes. Call 865-544-8220 or hit men'sproKnoxville.com before your lady books a new co-star. Men's Pro Knoxville, making it happen.
Got a flat tire? Strange noise under the hood? Don't stress. Roll into Matlock Tire and Auto Service. From oil changes and brake repairs to brand new tires, Matlock's certified techs do it all. Fast, friendly, and fair priced, Matlock is the home of the price match guarantee. Bring in any competitor's ad and Matlock will match the exact same tire for the exact same price. Matlock Tire and Auto Service. 5 locations in East Tennessee. Visit MatlockTireService.com to find the location nearest you and schedule your appointment.
Yee-haw! I've been hooting and hollering ever since I started betting with the VIP Play app. VIP Play has more than 200 leagues, every bet type you can imagine, live betting and live hosts, all with 24/7 support from real live people when you need them. Start betting better with the VIP Play app today.
Don't be a better, be a better with VIP Play today.
Download VIP Play today or head to VIPPlayApp.com. Make sure you use the promo code FANRUN to take advantage of their welcome bonus and so they know that we sent you. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-88-99789. Must be 21 or older and located in Tennessee to bet.
Are you looking for a treat that will knock it out of the park at the next watch party? Just like your favorite baseball team, Crumble brings the best lineup week to week with an expanded roster that includes key lime pie, strawberry cake, or my personal favorite, Monster featuring M&M candies. Let Crumble treat you to the best cookies in the game. Download the Crumble app and start earning rewards. You can even vote monthly on what flavors you would like to see at any store of your choice. Warmer weather is here, so get to the ballpark, but don't miss the cookies.
Ready to launch your career? Axle Logistics is a leading third-party logistics company where excellence is an energy. With an award-winning culture, Axle proves that positive outcomes come from a positive environment and a work hard, play hard mentality. At Axle, the drive for success is infectious. And with an uncapped commission structure, hard work isn't just noticed, it's rewarded. For those with big goals and even bigger dreams, Axle Logistics is the place to start your career.
here on Fan Run Radio, Fox Sports Knoxville, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM, and always streaming for free on that Fan Run Radio app. William Pattison of Overtime from 6 to 8 right here on Fan Run Radio, Fox Sports Knoxville. In studio with us on a Monday, Jackson and Garrett on the other side of the glasses. We have a jam-packed house here on a Monday, 12 days away from kickoff for Tennessee's 2025 college football season. But as we continue on here at the top of hour number one, William, how insane is it that the newest suggestion here in the college football playoff model is going to 24 to 28 teams here on the Big Ten side of things? When you saw that last week, what was your immediate reaction, and how viable do you think that actually is?
Well, I tweeted out when I saw the notification pop up from On3 that was a proposed thing. I said, what are we doing here? And that's still kind of how I stand on this. I think 12 teams is perfect. I thought last year was the most engaging college football season there has ever been, because you had 12 teams vying for those spots. But as a result, you had about 20 to 22 teams that believed heading into that final weekend that they could have an actual argument to make the field. And like a South Carolina, a team that got blown out at home by Ole Miss, was trying to vouch for why they should be in that field. Ole Miss was in a similar situation, trying to vouch why they should be. Alabama, there were tons of teams that were still actively engaged in college football because of the 12-team format. And throughout the season, you got so many big games with college football playoff implications to where you go from 4 teams, there are about 8 teams that could make a legitimate argument of why they can make it. When you go to 12, with the different ways of getting in, with the automatic qualifying from winning your conference championship, from the group of 5 getting a representative as well, there's so many different teams that believe they could make it. And that's why I think it was so intriguing. But where we cross the line here is when you start pushing it to 20 teams, 24 teams, 28. That waters down the overall product. 136 teams in college football, 12 of them make it. You're going to get some of the best teams, and you'll get the best games. And I know last year, at least those first-round matchups weren't as close as they should have been. But this year, you reseed it to now where you're not going to have like an 8-9 being Tennessee and Ohio State. It'll be more so seeded to what it should be, like a Tennessee host in SMU. That would have worked out a lot better, in my opinion, than what we saw in a couple of those first-round games. But I mean, the Final Four, if you will, Notre Dame and Penn State, that was a banger game. Ohio State, Texas, that was a great game. The national championship might have gone off to a tough start, but Notre Dame came back and made that a game in the second half to where you were tuning in and you were, wondering, oh my gosh, is Notre Dame about to pull this off? It was such a compelling year because of the 12-team format. But if you continue to add more teams, you're watering it down and you're adding teams that should not be there anyway. And you're going to have bigger blowouts and you're going to have less engagement once you get to the playoffs, because people aren't going to watch a 1 seed absolutely take down a 28 seed or a 24 seed, whatever it may be. And that's my big gripe with this. We don't need to keep on expanding right now. Let's see how this 12-team format works for a couple of seasons, and then we can make adjustments. We had the 4-team method for forever. What was it, 9 years we had the 4-year method or 4-team method? And you tinker and you work from that. You got to let the 12-team format work out a little bit longer.
It's funny that Sankey and Petiti have basically flipped depending on the sport, because Sankey was the one leading the charge, right, in college basketball playoff expansion with March Madness of like, hey, let's because they were touting, look how many SEC teams made it into the men's tournament here in March Madness this year. And it's like, well, yeah, then it defeats the whole purpose if we have 14 of 16 SEC teams always making the gauntlet. Like, that does get old. And you saw last year where you had, Tennessee obviously got matched up with Kentucky, and that was a fun game, but it still just feels weird when these teams are meeting in the actual tournament, especially in the NCAA men's tournament. But you don't want to have 7 and 5. Yes, it keeps more people engaged, but that wasn't ever really a problem with college football fans. Like, I don't think even it's changed probably a little bit with the 4-team college football playoff model and even now the 12-team, but I don't think a lot of schools who never had a chance of winning the national title, whether you're a Wake Forest fan, you were a Nebraska fan, Iowa fan, they had a problem staying engaged throughout the year, even if their team did not have a chance of the national title. So when I hear CEOs and big business folks talk about that, I'm like, well, were you watching college football in like 2006?
Yeah.
Most people went into the season understanding there were like 6 teams that can win the national title every year, but they were still going because they love the experience. They went to the university. They love the university. They love watching their team play football. It's not a end all be all deal if they win the national title. If you ask every Iowa State fan right now, you don't actually believe you'll ever win a title at Iowa State in college football. Like, right? Like, you understand that. And I would say, yeah, but it's fun. And I love watching our team. Matt Campbell's a fantastic coach. We're in a great spot. We're on the best run in our school's history. Basketball, yeah, we have that expectation. Like, we know we can win it all in basketball. And that's where we put it. That's just the deal. But there is no path to Iowa State ever winning a national title. So when you open it up like this and you try to pretend that we're all on this level playing field and that when you expand the playoffs, Garrett, is like, oh, yeah, we're going to keep more and more fans engaged later in the year. It's like, no, those fans are already engaged, especially in the SEC front.
Yeah.
How many SEC fans were like, I'm checking out, my team's 7-4 going into the final week, I'm not even going to watch this game? No, they're going to watch it. What are we talking about?
Yeah. I mean, to both your points, I mean, whether it's a 12-team playoff, the 13th team is going to say, well, we should have got in, or the 28th or the 30th team at a 28-team playoff is going to be like, oh, we should have got in. Like,
yes.
We don't need to keep expanding. 7-5 Pitt is not going to get in the playoff and go on a magical run and beat people. You can do it in the NCAA tournament because you only have to have 5-6 players on a basketball team. Football, if you're not good enough at the line of scrimmage, you can't win the game.
Yeah.
And when you
can win one, you just can't win three.
You can't win 5. Yeah,
yes.
Exactly. And so, like, if you get one upset, like, was that worth it? No. Like, that doesn't – there's no point of doing it. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, William, I also think one of the things that before they even expanded even more, one of the things that was really weird about this last year's first 12-team model was how awkward those TNT games were. And that Penn State SMU game had zero buzz. I don't know if y'all remember, like, that was a noon kickoff at Happy Valley, and it just looked dead. And Happy Valley should never look dead for a college football playoff game. I mean, just in general, Penn State should never look like that. But the game had no juice whatsoever. I mean, Kevin Jennings was he had some problems. Like, he had some real problems in that game. But you look at who the broadcasters were, and we're like, you know what the NFL doesn't do? That's just like a basic tenet. They're like, hey, we have good broadcasters. I understand, like, they all are in different competing networks, but it's probably better for our product to make sure that the big time broadcasters are calling our playoff games. Where in college football, the college football playoff TV rights make no sense come playoff time because you have all these new broadcasters, and that was part of it on the TNT True TV stuff. You're like, hey, this can't happen again. You don't have that many games, but you need to find a way to let Nessler and Danielson call some of these. You need to let Joel Klatt and Gus Johnson call some of these. Like, you need somebody like the NBC guys, the Fox guys, the ESPN guys. Like, they need to be calling these playoff games. The guys that you actually know and we listen to all fall need to be calling these college football games and not these random. And no offense to those guys, like, they're getting asked to do those spots, but like, I think it was Jonathan Vilma was doing one of those games, if I remember correctly. I don't remember who it was off the top of my head, but I think it was Vilma, but I could be wrong. But it's just guys are like, hey, they haven't called a college football game all year on any major broadcast, and now we're putting playoff games. And it's not a big gripe, but it is a gripe of mine that I don't think we talk about enough. Is like, hey, why can't we come together, these networks, and be like, hey, we're going to put aside our network allegiances and find a way to put these games or simulcast or something where they are able to be on Warner broadcast, whatever, but also having these big time announcers, because it was just weird.
Well, I think because the seating was so poorly done last year, you got a couple of games that were forgettable.
Yeah.
But the announcers play a big role into that as well, the energy level that they present. And obviously SMU, Penn State, everyone kind of knew what was going to happen going into that game. I feel like the most memorable part of those first round games is that Fortnite had sponsored like all those. I mean, you come in and it'd be, and welcome to Notre Dame and Indiana, sponsored by Fortnite OG season. Like, you're like, what are we doing here? I would have loved like a Kevin Harlan on the call, though. You know, he's a guy that works at Turner, does CBS, stuff like that. I would have loved Kevin Harlan on the call. Like that would fire me up. I know he's not a traditional college football voice, but I mean, he would have had some energy, added some pop, and I mean, it could be the two most boring teams in the NFL playing, and Kevin Harlan will add some juice. I mean, he was the one that called that Broncos-Dolphins game.
Yeah,
that was 70-20, and he was still going at it in the fourth quarter. So, you know, I know that they've got a very busy cast, especially during the NFL season. But if they're going to make it a priority to have these college football playoff games, you know, get your best voices in there, get the best production possible. And I think that'd be my only gripe for that Turner side.
Penn State SMU is Mark Jones and Roddy Jones calling that game at noon.
And I don't mind Mark Jones, by the way.
He's okay.
Mark Jones is good, at least on the NBA. And he's good for college. He does college football games.
He does. He does a lot of Colorado games. I feel like Mark Jones does like 4 to 5 Colorado games a year.
They have him on the late night crew a lot.
Yes. Dave Pasch, Dusty DeVore. I don't know. Is it Dvorak? Dvorak?
Yeah, something around. Yeah, something.
I've never actually heard it out loud. Is it Dusty Dvorak?
I think it's the
former Oklahoma player. I think he played with Heupel way back in the day on that early 2000s team. But they're okay. But that was calling Texas Clemson. Like, that's just not like Herb Streak and Fowler obviously called Tennessee, Ohio State. But how does Joe Klatt and Gus Johnson not call any CFP games?
Well, the Notre Dame Indiana game, like they had game day before that.
Yeah.
Like that had a good atmosphere. It was just never a competitive game.
But you have McDonough and McElroy. They're great.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That was, I mean, they had that set up perfectly. It was just once Jeremiah Love took it to the crib from 99 yards, the game was over. You know, I mean, they just the seeding didn't work out to make the games competitive. I'm all in on the campus games, though.
Yeah.
Like, I think you definitely have to keep those.
Oh, I would expand more. Like, I would do 2 rounds of campus games. I mean, if we're going to expand to definitely 16, I want 2 rounds of college football playoff games on home campuses.
Well, if you're like a number 1 seed, though, and 16, like you'd probably get a double bye, right? Like you're automatically in like the national semifinal at that point.
Which
probably.
I think it's fair. I would do that. Like,
It
if you, especially
it
if you go,
depends on though, like the seeding, like the break. Like Oregon, they took that big break this year, and then they just got absolutely run out of the Rose Bowl. So, like, how does that affect the team if they don't play for a month?
it is convenient though. You can throw that out if you do get beat. You're like, well, look, we had a long. And it's like, well, no, there are circumstances where teams who did have a long bye, they do win their next football game. Like, that does happen. It just so happened that did not work for you in this instance. It's convenient as an excuse. I understand that, but I take that with a grain of salt. William, do you think that we've lost anything in the college football regular season now that we have a season of the 12-team playoff under your belt? Or do you think it's fine, and you think even expanding to 16, the regular season will still be fine? But then when you think about 24, 28, do you think that would actually have a big effect on ratings and how fans feel about the regular season altogether?
I don't think we lost anything. I think we gained last year a lot more engagement and a lot bigger games, a lot better games. Teams now realize that your schedule matters, and your strength of schedule at the end of the season is going to be a metric that committee is going to use. So now you've seen from almost every team in the Power 4 level outside of Indiana put an emphasis on scheduling big-time games. So I think it adds to the viewership numbers. As you know, a college football fan, I want to see Notre Dame and Miami. I want to see a Notre Dame Texas or a Texas Ohio State, whatever it may be. It is added to what you get during the regular season. And as I mentioned earlier, you've got a lot more teams now that are vying for those spots and believe that they have a chance to make it late into the season. So I don't think we've lost anything in the regular season. If anything, we've gained something. Now, if we go to 16 teams, I think you'd still have a similar amount of that engagement. Anything beyond that, though, waters down the overall product. As I said, not only for the postseason, it waters down the type of matchups we're getting, but in the regular season, it waters down the importance of week-to-week football. Right now, we know at 2 losses or more, you're probably out if you're a Power 4 team that's vying for a spot. If you move to 24 to 28 teams, you're going to see teams with 3 losses, maybe even 4 losses, still have an opportunity to make this thing. And when you're only playing 12 games in a year, a team that only wins 75% of the time should not be in the playoff contention in my eyes. At least in this current format, you've got teams that 10 out of 12 days are the better team on the field, and those are usually the teams that are making the last couple of spots. You've still got the 11-1s. You've still got the undefeated teams. Those teams are the ones that people want to see. Like Oregon, Ohio State in the Rose Bowl had all the hype heading into it. Now, obviously, that game didn't necessarily deliver, but Oregon, in their first year in the Big Ten, won the conference championship game, undefeated, going up against Ohio State, who had usually run that Big Ten over the last couple of years. And that was a really highly anticipated matchup. Also, not to mention a great venue. If you continue to add more teams, you're going to have more and more teams that are 3 losses, 4 losses in there. That waters down the overall product. In the regular season and in the postseason, the 12-team format, I still think is a big win because we don't have a watered-down product.
I like it. When we come back, we'll check in with our resident Grizzlies guy to talk a little Memphis Grizzlies, Desmond Bane trade, Zaire Williams, and a whole lot more as we wrap up hour number 1 right here on the Chase 105.7 FM, 1340 AM, and always streaming for free on that Fan Run radio app.
Catch up with all things Fan Run by subscribing to our podcast feed. Like, rate, and download the show from the Fan Run app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, Knoxville. Surfside iced tea and vodka made with real brewed tea is only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar with no bubbles and no troubles. That's right, 0 carbonation, so it's easy to sip and enjoy. Headed to a game day or party at a friend's house? Bring an iced tea or lemonade variety pack from Surfside or try their green tea and new raspberry tea vodka. Find the can with the sunset stripes this season. Surfside iced tea and vodka, sold at bars, restaurants, and stores near you. Surfside iced tea and vodka, sunshine in a can. Must be 21 or older. Enjoy responsibly.
Rickard Ridge Barbecue, located in beautiful Cove Lake State Park. Rickard Ridge is home of the best ribs in the Volunteer State. Smoked daily by pitmaster Mark Rickard. The barbecue at Rickard Ridge is mouth-watering, fall-off-the-bone delicious. Take the scenic drive up I-75 to exit 134. For directions and to look at the rest of the menu, visit Rickard Ridge online at rickardridgebbq.com.
Airlines have just reduced their prices even more. Book 30 days in advance and save big.
Want the absolute lowest prices on your airline tickets? Then call the Low Cost Airlines Travel Hotline right now. For prices so low, we can't publish them anywhere. The only way to access our low rates and save up to 70% is to call. Save hundreds on your vacation tickets by calling right now. You can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go and pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-631-1754. 800-631-1754. 800-631-1754. That's 800-631-1754.
A brand built in Tennessee and born from the love of the game. Inward Half revolutionizes golfing comfort. Crafted by a former pro and dedicated enthusiast just like you, our luxury performance wear guarantees you stay cool and comfortable through every swing and every day. We're not just a brand. We've set out to create a lifestyle for those who understand that impeccable style and premium performance are a hole-in-one. Enjoy the walk-in with Inward Half.
Citizens National Bank.
Life is more fun with a Good Life checking account, offering extra benefits including bank travel. Join us for a trip to Mackinac Island for a stay at the beautiful Grand Hotel. Travel with us to southern Utah to witness the enormous, colorful, and unusual rock formations. Or join us on one of our many day trips. We're always on the go.
Citizens National Bank. Banking never felt so good.
Member FDIC.
It's the Chase right here on Fan Run Radio, Fox Sports Knoxville, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM, and always streaming for free on that Fan Run Radio app. William Pattison of Overtime 6 to 8 right here on Fan Run Radio and Fox Sports Knoxville in studio with us here on a Monday. You can call, text us, 865-966-3435 is the way to do so. 865-966-3435 is the way to jump in here today. As we continue on here in hour number 1 right here on the Chase, William, Grizzlies guy, resident Grizzlies guy, he's got the license plate with the Grizzly merch. How much extra was that plate, William Pattison?
I don't know. So when I graduated high school, my dad gave me that truck, and he already had a Grizzlies license plate on there. And he was like, "Do you just want to keep it?" And I said, "Sure." So that's not a very amusing story there, but that's how I got it. So I don't know if it costs extra or not. It shouldn't in Memphis, by the way, because every Grizzlies fan should boast their team proudly around the streets of Memphis.
So your dad's a big Grizzlies guy too. Do y'all go to a lot of games together, or is it just he's more of a casual fan? How does that work?
I'd say I'm the bigger Grizzlies fan. I mean, I don't there's a lot of self-promotion here, but I believe I'm one of the bigger Grizzlies fans out there, at least in Memphis growing up. I mean, everyone, something happens or something's about to happen. People text me what's going on here.
Yeah.
Like, it's part of my personality. Like, one of the best days of my life will be when the Grizzlies win the NBA championship.
Not an if, a win.
It is. So, I mean, my dad and I had season tickets for 1 year. Actually, to further emphasize how big of a fan I am, the youngest season ticket holder in Grizzlies history is sitting right next to you.
Really?
Bought them when I was 15.
Are you allowed to do that? Can 15-year-olds buy season tickets where they're like,
I worked a job all that summer to buy tickets, and it was John Morant's rookie year.
Yeah.
So I sat up 217, Roquet, seat 9 and 10.
Wow. I've never had season tickets for anything.
It was worth it to me. Like, just being able to go to every game at home. But that was the COVID year too. So I kind of got the last half of it cut off, but it's just fun. It's just like, I'm watching this game anyway at home.
Yeah.
And my mom knows I'm not doing homework anyway. And she was like, William, you got school tomorrow.
Who cares?
Yeah. Well, she'd be like, William, you got school tomorrow. I'm like, Mom, it doesn't matter. I'm watching the game regardless. So if I go to the game or stay here and watch it, I mean, I'm not getting it done anyway.
Sounds like she doesn't know ball. She doesn't respect ball. She doesn't respect John Morant's rookie season.
Well, she knows ball, and she respected ball because, like, growing up, some people get like an Xbox taken away or something like that.
You got season tickets taken away?
I'd get the TV taken away. I wouldn't be able to watch Grizzlies games, but obviously I'd find ways to be able to do it. She forgot I had a computer.
How'd you even get there at 15? Are you Ubering at 15? Like, you're
bought it at 15. I turned 16 September 4th, so the season hadn't begun yet.
Okay.
Begun yet, but
there you go.
Was able to drive. My parking spot always there. Good little place. If you ever go to a Grizzlies game, there's a church right next to the stadium. $10 parking. It's good.
Okay, there you go. Garrett, have you ever had season tickets for anything?
No, never had season tickets for anything.
Yeah. What about you, Jackson?
My stepdad had Tennessee tickets for a while. They weren't technically mine, but I think for like 2 seasons.
How long ago did they expire?
It was year 1 of Pruitt.
Oh, so it's been a bit. So it's been a bit. Okay. There's a couple of, like, football. I would never get season tickets. Like, it's just too far. Like, the best ones are just so expensive that I'm like, if I'm going to do football, like, I need to have money because I want some really good seats there. Baseball, I just don't want to go to that many games. Like, I love going to Tennessee baseball games, but like, that's a lot. That's a huge time commitment, especially now that Tuesdays are going to be more relevant with the shrunken rosters where we're going to treat those like real games. I'm like, I can't. That's asking a lot of me on a Tuesday night to go to tell the wife, hey, can we go check out Tennessee Xavier here on February 28th?
I promise it'll be not a runner.
Yeah. Exactly. And it's just like, it's tough sell. But when it comes to basketball, that's the one I would have done. Atlanta Hawks. I've been to so many Atlanta Hawks games. Like, I would, if it was closer, I would still do Atlanta Hawks season tickets. Kind of like you. We're both big NBA guys, and I grew up around it. I mean, there's just season tickets there aren't that bad, especially good seats. So I'm like, that's the one with for me. I would love. Baseball is just too much. I understand it. I have a lot of people I know who do Brave season tickets, and they sell a lot of them, but I don't know. It's just a whole deal. It's like fantasy baseball where you're like, man, you have to keep up with that every day. And if you're selling baseball season tickets all the time, like, doesn't that get exhausting? Like, you're having to flip so many because you're not going to 5 games a week or whatever it is.
Too much for me.
Yeah, too much going on.
Yeah.
But not a whole lot going on here in Grizzlies country because we're in the lull season of the NBA offseason here, William Pattison. But with that being said, something I've been thinking about here as we get closer and closer to the season, you've had a couple months to think about it now. Is there a chance that the Memphis Grizzlies will regret trading Desmond Bane this year? Or is that going to be something you will not know for a couple of years down the line?
I think in the short term, it's pretty easy to say yes, that Memphis will miss Desmond Bane. I mean, he's a top 10 3-point shooter in the league. Statistically, you could even high as 5, just a very reliable 3-point shooter. And if Memphis does not have that consistency this season, definitely, you could say, man, trading Desmond Bane wasn't the smartest decision. But the reason why the Grizzlies did this was for the long term. So I think long term, it will make sense because you're able to keep Jaren Jackson Jr. and John Morant on your roster, which I think if you polled any Grizzlies fan, they'd say yeah, keeping both those guys on this team is probably worth the price of having to move on from a Bain. But at least in the short term, to answer your question, I think definitely there could be some regret this year if you're not able to find a consistent three-point shooter, or the spacing is not what it should be. And John Morant minutes that would have been alongside of Desmond Bain. I could totally get that. But again, this was a move that Zach Kleiman and company did for the long term. And I believe that it was the best decision for Memphis going forward. And the haul you got for him was a price that you almost couldn't turn down. I mean, 4 first-round picks and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Cole Anthony in exchange for Desmond Bain. Now, obviously, Anthony's going a separate way. But KCP is a guy that I value a lot. Didn't have a great year last year with the Magic, but I thought they asked him to play a role that wasn't necessarily catered to him. I think in Memphis he'll have a much more seamless fit. And then the picks, again, just like so many of them, that gives you options to trade for other guys in the future. Also, bolster your youth, as you've got 2 max players on your roster. You need to hit on draft picks here in the future. So I just thought there were more pluses than minuses, even though I did love Desmond Bain, and he was a part of that original Grizz Next Gen crew.
On the schedule side, full schedule dropped here. William Pattison, what 3 games are you most excited about on this Memphis schedule?
Well, let's start off on Halloween. LeBron James and company, the Los Angeles Lakers, come into town. This is going to be one of the first games of the Emirates NBA Cup for the Grizzlies. This is a home game and match play. This one's going to be on Amazon Prime. And my answers here are going to be kind of catered to some of these TV slots because, as we know, Turner Sports no longer carrying the NBA. We've got Prime. We've got NBC. I'm interested to see those presentations. So this one is not only a big game for the Grizzlies because you've got the Lakers coming into town, because LeBron James is playing, because this is an NBA Cup game, but this is going to be on Amazon Prime. This is going to be one of the first games of the season on the NBA Amazon Prime broadcast. So I'm really looking forward to that one. That is Friday, October 31st. Halloween. It's spooky against the Lakers. A little bit later on, December 30th. This is a Tuesday night game. Obviously, Tuesday night, William, what the hell? Philadelphia 76ers. Joel Embiid, if he's healthy, could be an interesting one. I like Tyrese Maxey. This one's on NBC. A little round ball rock going into a Grizzlies game. I'm looking forward to that. And that's to wrap up the 2025 calendar year. So obviously have my eyes on that one. And then as you go down the list, I mean, like an OKC on January 9th, a team that bounced you from the postseason last year, the reigning NBA champions. That's a game I look at, maybe a little revenge, kind of see how you stack up midway through the season against a team like that. And then the Grizzlies do have, a fair amount of nationally televised games between like that January 15th to February 15th level. You got some ESPN, you've got a couple more NBC Peacock ones. Interested to see those games, but obviously I'm looking forward to that early part of the year to see some of those new broadcasts with the Grizzlies on there. So those are kind of the 3, the Thunder team that knocked you out last year, the reigning NBA champions where you stack up, and then the Prime and NBC broadcast. I want to see the presentation with the Grizzlies on it.
I like those. I also will say this November, from November 3rd to basically November 20th, might make or break Memphis' season. It's very early, but this
is early in the season.
I mean, that is a kind of stretch run where that could demoralize this group, or like if Jaren's not healthy or your Zach Edey's not ready to go and you get pulverized there, because this stretch, November 3rd, Detroit, who I think is going to be a top 5 seed in the East. So I think you got to recalibrate what you think about Detroit. Houston, obviously with their double bigs, like that's a big one. That's not a back-to-back. You get one game in between. Dallas at home, who should be really good again, Cooper Flag and company. Oklahoma City, say less. At New York, still a top 4 seed in the East. At Boston, still going to be extremely hard. Like, they're not tanking. They're just a little bit thinner than they were a year ago, obviously, without Tatum. And then at Cleveland, who still should be one of the 4 best teams. And then you get Victor Wembanyama and company on the 18th as well. I mean, that's potentially a series of playoff teams. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 straight playoff teams in a row? I mean, over a month? That's a tough stretch for the Grizz.
Yeah, well, even just kind of looking at the home stretch, because, home games are really, really important in any sport. And maintaining that home court advantage, winning those games at home are really valuable in the NBA when you have a Western Conference that is as competitive as it's ever been this upcoming year. Lakers on the 31st, your next home game. The Detroit Pistons, a young, gritty team that displayed a really valiant performance last year in the postseason. Then the Rockets, the Mavericks, the Thunder. Like those 3 games right there, those are all going to be teams that are going to be in the postseason next year. Winning those home games are going to be very important for the Grizzlies when you look at the seeding, when you look at the amount of teams that are going to be in postseason contention in the Western Conference. Got to win those home games. So not only that stretch on the road against teams like Boston and Cleveland, but more specifically, those West teams at home. Very, very important for the Grizzlies.
Final thing here. Hindsight being 2020, William Pattison.
I saw this and I was like, oh gosh.
Were you a fan? Think back to the time of the deal and now think to where you're at now with this. Zaire Williams, were you a fan of the pick and the thought process? Because I'm a big time process over results kind of guy. Like there's only so much you can do about results in a lot of walks of life, especially in sports. The process is ultimately what matters. Putting yourself in the best position to take advantage of luck coming your way and then being prepared is a big part of it too. But when you look at Zaire Williams, hindsight being 2020, where do you land? Where did you land at the time and where do you land now?
Yeah, to get me some extra Memphis points, I was at the Memphis Redbirds game watching this draft go down. And look, my guys in that draft ended up not being very successful anyway. So I guess it really doesn't matter what I thought at the time because I was a big James Bouknight guy out of UConn, and he's garbage. So I guess it really doesn't matter what I thought at the time. But like Williams to me was a guy that you took off of upside, and actually he had a good rookie season. He ran the court well, had a lot of opportunities around the rim for alley-oop opportunities. Was kind of a sneaky rebounder that could hit a couple of shots here and there. Now his fall off should be studied as he was horrible in year 2 and year 3. Obviously got shipped out after that. But as a rookie, he was serviceable on that 2021-2022 Grizzlies team that ended up going all the way the second round of the playoffs. But I think it was more so who they had around him. And they asked Williams to play a little bit of a bigger role. Wasn't able to do that. His shot deteriorated. Even though he had a solid season last year for the Nets, he was better than what he was with the Grizzlies. But again, the Nets are a dumpster fire, and anyone could look good out there for them. But hindsight 2020, not a great pick. I think Trey Murphy went 1 right after at 11 to the Pelicans. Now, that would have been a lot nicer. But again, I was in the James Bouknight camp, so I guess I can't really have a firm opinion on this one.
Yeah, it's just he made a lot of sense, right? I remember, I think David Thorpe of True Hoop, who does a really good blog over there at truehoop.com, he was pretty optimistic about Zaire. Like, it made sense. Like, that's a whole one where it obviously did not go well, but I don't think anyone thought Gigi Jackson would excel the same way he has at Memphis with how his college career went. Super talented guy, obviously, but you're throwing stuff at the wall and hoping one of these guys sticks. And Zaire was one of those where, I don't know, they're smart NBA people liked Zaire and what he could ultimately be. And who knows? He might be one of those guys with his athleticism and length and everything else that he just hangs around. You're like, hey, man, he's in like year 8. He's on team 12, but he's in year 8.
Well, Memphis, and this is kind of still true to this day, they haven't been able to find one, but they're trying to find that small forward of the future, that guy that can consistently be a pillar of this team. And you were hoping that Zaire could have been that, especially with his wingspan and kind of unique release point with his shot. But again, just could not get that from him, could not find that consistency as a shooter. And the rim running shtick kind of got old after a year. Maybe a little bit of that pick was a little bit of a Chandler Parsons hangover, just trying to find that next guy or a guy that could work, trying to fill that position with young talent. Well, you've got at the time then impending having to pay Jaren Jackson Jr. and John Morant. Didn't go that way, but, there have been worse picks by the Grizzlies, too. There have been worse picks by the Grizzlies. Hasheem Thabeet, anyone?
Hasheem Thabeet. That, I will say, though, I was a Hasheem Thabeet guy back in the day. He was fun at UConn. Hasheem Thabeet just didn't work out.
Hasheem Thabeet guy, Ty Simpson guy. I don't know. This is not a good track record for you, Chase.
You can dunk on 13-year-old Chase with Hasheem Thabeet because I feel like that was that long ago. How long ago was Hasheem Thabeet? He was probably 20 years ago now.
2000. No, it wasn't 20 years yet.
It's been a while.
He was the same class as Curry.
Was he same class as Curry? He's 38. So that was 18 years ago.
Yeah, Curry's 37.
Yeah.
I think it was Curry's class.
2014 was his first. Well, hold on. No, that's his
He
last
got drafted 2009, I believe.
Yeah. So when I graduated high school, 09.
Yeah.
I mean, we're closing in. I mean, it's been a while. When we come back, we will talk about Joey Aguilar, officially quarterback 1, Steve Angeli, quarterback 1 for Syracuse. 2 spring transfers will face off at Mercedes-Benz, noon Eastern time on ABC between the Vols and the Orangemen. We'll talk all about it here at the top of hour number 2. Stick with us. It's The Chase right here on Fan Run Radio, Fox Sports Knoxville, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM, and always streaming for free on that Fan Run Radio app.
Follow us on Twitter or X or whatever they're calling it these days at Fox Sports Knox. Fox Sports Knoxville. Fan Run Radio.
This is one of the last home stands to see your Knoxville Smokies play this season. This week will be full of celebrations with All-You-Can-Eat Wednesday and Titans Night on Thursday. You could win a free Titans autographed jersey and tickets to an upcoming game. Then the weekend is packed with fireworks on Friday. Saturday is UT Night with a Dylan Sampson bobblehead giveaway and fireworks, and our day game of the week on Sunday. Grab your tickets now at SmokiesBaseball.com. Knoxville Smokies!
Located in Knoxville's historic Old City, Barley's offers great food, live music, the best draft beer selection in town, and now your new favorite place to watch sports. Their indoor projector is perfect for any weather, and they've revamped their upstairs area with more TVs to take in all of the action. Their menu features hand-battered chicken tenders, juicy burgers, fresh salads, and the tastiest pizza in Knoxville. You can enjoy their happy hour drink specials daily from open until 6 p.m. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
Let's take a moment to breathe. Deep inhale. Extend your spine. Remain focused on what you're doing. If safe to do so, exhale slowly, leaning to one side. Inhale back to center. If safe to do so, exhale slowly to the opposite side. Find mental health resources at loveyourmindtoday.org. This message is brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
Blackford Veterinary Surgery Referral specializes in surgeries not regularly performed by your pet's general veterinarian. They're currently accepting referrals from vets all across the country. With their newly renovated state-of-the-art surgery center and highly trained staff, clients can rely on professional and thorough care. If your vet says that your pet needs surgery or rehab, ask for a referral to Blackford Vet and let them get your best friend back on its feet. Located conveniently in West Knoxville. For more information, visit blackfordvetsurgery.com.
Hey, folks, if you're in need of a lawyer, you need to call my friend Jerry Givens. I've known Jerry since high school and can personally vouch for him. He's East Tennessee through and through, and if you're going through a divorce, bankruptcy, or a DUI case, you'll need someone you can trust on your side to help you navigate the local legal system. You can trust Jerry Givens. Call the law offices of Jerry Givens today at 865-801-9250 to schedule your free consultation. That's 801-9250.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Are you tired of spending hours on laundry and ironing? Let Crown Cleaners handle your dry cleaning so you can handle your business. Our expert team can take care of your clothes, removing stains and wrinkles like they were never there. Whether it's your best suit or everyday attire, we handle it all at Crown Cleaners. Say goodbye to laundry stress and hello to extra free time. Crown Cleaners, Big Orange Country's imperial dry cleaning service since the 1960s. Online at crowncleaners.com.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
It's a Chase right here on Fan Run Radio, Fox Sports Knoxville, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM, and always streaming for free on that Fan Run Radio app. William Pattison of Overtime 6 to 8 right here on Fan Run Radio, Fox Sports Knoxville, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM, and always streaming for free on that Fan Run Radio app Monday through Friday. In studio with us here on a gorgeous Monday afternoon right here in Knoxville, Tennessee. You can call or text us to be a part of the show here in hour number 2, 865-966-3435 is the way to do so. 865-966-3435 is the way to jump in here today in hour number 2. As we continue on here, Joey Aguilar officially quarterback number 1, as William Pattison to my left reported a week ago ahead of this official announcement by Heupel last night going into mock game week this week. We're officially 2 weeks out, and it felt inevitable for weeks, William Pattison, but now that it's official, how are you feeling about Tennessee's quarterback play going into 2025?
Well, look, when Aguilar came on after coming over from UCLA, we knew that this was going to be a quarterback battle. Jake Merklinger, a guy that's been in this system for a couple of seasons now, or I guess a season, and heading into his second off season, had an understanding of the offense and deserved a fair opportunity. George McIntyre comes in as a part of this really good freshman class that was spearheaded by David Sanders, and McIntyre has looked the part. He's done a good job for a freshman. Merklinger was really good on day one, but after that kind of struggled with accuracy and consistency. And I think this quarterback battle came down to who can be the most consistent day in and day out, who can deliver the football in the most accurate way. And when you look at Josh Heupel and the way that this offense works, it's all about accuracy, timing, and consistency. What did Tennessee lack last year? Well, consistency and the deep pass game, accuracy and the deep pass game. And Tennessee, as a result, struggled to move the ball down the field in the passing game. You had to rely so much on the run game. And I believe that the run game will still be a huge focal point this season, where you got 3, even 5 guys deep. I mean, if you listen to Darrell Sims, running back coach last week, talks about how all the guys are going to be involved in the offense this year. But going back to the quarterback situation, I just think Aguilar gives you the most experience, gives you the most consistency, and will give you the most accuracy down the field, as he was a gunslinger for the Mountaineers over the last couple of seasons. I know interceptions is what everyone's going to want to talk about. Oh my gosh, this guy had 14 interceptions last year, William. No way he's going to be good for Tennessee. Keep in mind, folks, Joe Milton came in as a disaster for Michigan in terms of turning over the football and was just fine in terms of keeping the ball with Tennessee, not turning the ball over a ton. Hendon Hooker, obviously, the main outlier here, one of the best seasons we've ever seen in Tennessee football history, but he was a guy that took care of the football. Nico, for as many gripes as he had last year, was a guy that for a majority of the time kept care of the football. So I just think Aguilar, you have the most comfortability going into a game one with him because he's got the experience and because what he's demonstrated over the last couple of weeks. After the first scrimmage is when I was originally tipped off on it that Joey would be the starter. Obviously, we don't learn until about a week later that he is now officially the starter. But as I reported, actually, I think the original report was here. I came on here last week on Monday and said Joey will be the starter. I reiterated it once again on Overtime from 6 to 8 here on Fan Run Radio. But it kind of felt like the decision that had to be made right now, especially with Merklinger kind of looking closer to McIntyre than he is to Aguilar, according to reports.
Yeah, and one of the things I kind of wonder / I don't even want to say worry about is when you go through ESPN's quarterback tiers here in 2025, the only QB tier 1, like a high tier guy from their list going from the G5 to the P4 is John Mateer. That's it. And again, people forget, like, this is not a P4 to P4 transfer. John Mateer and the schedule that he faced last year was a G5 schedule, like the Fresno States, the Boise of the world. Cam Ward played Oregon, played Washington, played Wisconsin, played top 15 Arizona in 2023. He was a lot more battle tested than what John Mateer faced last year. So I think it's actually a huge step up for him in competition versus what he saw last year going to Oklahoma, and what should be another bad offensive line for Oklahoma. I'm not a John Mateer believer. I'm not an Oklahoma offense believer. I'm not an Oklahoma wide receiver believer. Jaden Ott had a terrible season at California. They keep throwing him out. Jaden Ott was not good at Cal last year. You're hoping he gets back to 2 years ago form where he ran for over 1,000 yards, but he averaged 3.3 yards per carry last year. I could not sell any more Oklahoma stock. It just, people who are worried about Oklahoma coming to town here in Knoxville, Tennessee, I think it's going to be the best environment of the season inside Neyland Stadium, but I'm not sweating that game at all.
Garrett, can you help me out here?
I like their offense a lot. I mean, you
like Deion Burke staying healthy. You like Michael Pasisi playing left tackle, true freshman. Yeah.
Well, part of the thing about John Mateer is he's a dual threat quarterback. He can use his legs. So
I mean, he better this year.
But that's what I'm saying. If his offensive line isn't it didn't have to be a top 5 offensive line in the SEC. He had almost 1,000 rushing yards last year.
Right. I mean, you can't do that in the SEC. You saw Diego Pavia. Pavia broke down. And Pavia was not the same quarterback from the second half of the season on. You cannot run that much in this conference with that. Like, unless you're an elite slider and you're elite at avoiding contact and stuff, I just don't think that's sustainable. None of this seems sustainable. I cannot sell any more Sooners talk. I can't do it.
Here's my thing, Chase. This is where you lose me because, okay, sure, Mateer might have played a whatever you want to call the Pac-12.
A G5 schedule. They were a G5 team last year.
But how can you have any sort of confidence in Ty Simpson, who hasn't even played? But you're already ruling the will.
Greg McElroy did it. John Coker
did it. Greg McElroy did that when I was in grade school.
It happened. Mac Jones did it.
70-yard pass against Mercer that did it for you?
Hey, look. I mean, they won titles. It all worked. They waited their turn. Guys who waited their turn in Alabama have won national championships.
And what's different? Like everyone's told me, Mac Jones, Greg McElroy, these guys. Couple of key differences here. First off, Nick Saban, not the coach there anymore.
Kalen DeBoer, though, year 2, he's went to a national championship game in year 2.
Nick Saban, probably the greatest college coach of all time, versus Kalen DeBoer, a guy that led Washington to a national title not too long ago.
He's a top 3 coach right now.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Kalen DeBoer?
He's not a top 3 coach.
Who are you taking over Kalen DeBoer right now?
Kirby, Dabo.
You're taking Dabo over Kalen DeBoer right now?
100,000%.
Dabo has won.
I mean, Dabo
has won multiple times.
It's been a decade. Kalen DeBoer was in the national title 2 years ago. 2 years ago. Kalen DeBoer has won everywhere. I don't know if Dabo could win at Fresno State.
I would take Kirby, Dabo, and Lanning over DeBoer.
I love Dan
Lanning. He swept Dan Lanning. He beat Dan Lanning twice before he left Washington. He beat him in the regular season. He beat him in the the Pac-12 title game. He owns Dan Lanning.
Owns a strong word.
That is, I mean, that's a good counterpoint. I do like Dan Lanning a lot too.
He's 113-16 as a head football coach.
Yes, but much of that comes from
Sioux Falls. Put some respect on Sioux Falls. He went from 3-3 to that COVID year at Fresno to 9-3 at year 2. He went 25-3 at UW and 9-4 this past year with a quarterback that just kind of limited what he wanted to do.
But again, there are two key differences from Mac Jones and Greg McElroy and all these other guys.
Yeah.
Nick Saban, no longer on the sideline. I don't care how good Kalen DeBoer is currently. No one is better than Nick Saban.
Okay.
And then also the transfer portal era is totally different. To where now all of these teams are loaded and have guys coming in and year out where there's so much roster turnover, to where Alabama does have a really good roster, and I like a lot of their defensive pieces that return. I like offensively what they have on the line and the wide receivers. But, it's not the same deal as it was in 2020 with Mac Jones or 2009 with Greg McElroy, because a lot of these other teams got a lot better this offseason too, and there's a ton of movement. There's a ton of change. To where I think Ty Simpson is a guy that's just been lost in the cards because he's not that good. He's been there for 4 years.
He better be good early because they don't have Jam Miller, so they're not going to be able to use their running game very much because he was pretty much their lone rusher that returned that had significant yardage last year.
Well, if you remember, what was Washington 2 years ago having to deal with early on? Their lead tailback banged up. What did they do? They went on and went to the national championship game.
Okay, well, timeout.
Yes.
Washington,
right,
in the Pac-12,
yes,
was not playing the type of teams that Ty Simpson will be playing this season.
Pac-12 was really stacked that year.
Like Oregon State they won
double-digit games.
Oregon State was good. Oregon was good.
Arizona was top 15.
Yeah, but was Arizona were they that good?
They're pretty good. And
they peaked at like the end of the season. They won the Alamo Bowl, and everyone thought they were.
Fafita and McMillan were good, but they also kind of spiraled out at the end of the year.
Okay. I'm just saying.
I wouldn't put I wouldn't, and no sort of conversation ever would I put Arizona in the same sentence as like the third or fourth best team in the SEC this year. Would you agree with that?
Oh yeah, 100%. But again, Alabama's schedule is not that bad. They own Georgia until further notice. They're not
going.
They're beating
Ty
Georgia. He's going into Athens and ending the streak. Ty Simpson's ending the streak in Georgia. I don't know what to tell you. He's doing it.
If Ty Simpson no,
yes,
no,
yes,
they're not going to beat Georgia on the road. Like a rank versus rank matchup. The home team is going to win almost every time.
Okay, but not this time.
Ty Simpson is not beating Georgia in what, the fourth week of the season, fifth week of the season?
It's like the fifth. They got a little bit of time there because Tennessee, Georgia's week 3, and they don't play back to back. So I would say at least week 5. They got time.
I mean, I will say Gunnar Stockton's kind of a wild card as well.
They get a bye. Alabama gets Georgia gets a bye between that game.
But here's my thing with Georgia and why I can back it. Kirby Smart has been there.
Yeah.
Stetson Bennett has been in this transfer portal era, has been with Kirby Smart before. Stetson Bennett, I mean.
What is Kalen DeBoer's record versus the Kirby Smart, Dan Lanning coaching tree?
I mean, I don't have that off the top of my head, but
3-0. 3-0. It's about to be 4-0 this fall.
They will not be favored going in that game. So you're you're taking a risk here saying that they're going to win outright.
They're going to win outright. I mean,
what do they be? Probably 3.5, 4.5 point dogs.
Maybe.
This is an interesting demographic of people to watch the show to spread Alabama propaganda on. I mean,
I don't like it. I don't want to. I would love Kalen DeBoer. It's just Kalen DeBoer is an elite head coach. Alabama's got an elite wide receiver trio. I think Caden Proctor is in a huge prove-it year at left tackle. I think they return a whole heck of a lot of talent on defense. Bama's gonna be great. I don't want Bama. The biggest line for Tennessee this year. Have you all seen it? It's Alabama, Tennessee. It's an 11.5 point line, right now, somewhere around there. That's the biggest line. It's not Florida, who I think is really good. It's not Georgia at home, right? It's Bama, and that line might get to 14.5 plus by a game week.
It would be 11.5 if we were at Georgia. If Tennessee were at Georgia,
I think it'd be higher for Bama than Georgia this year.
I just don't Alabama. Kalen DeBoer and company looked very strong against Michigan last year. That was a good Michigan team too.
I just doubt Kalen DeBoer year 2 at your own risk.
I'm not saying they're going to be bad. That's the thing. It's I think there's the extreme side, which is the side you're on, and I'm I think they're a 2-loss team, 3-loss team again.
We'll see.
They're not beating Georgia.
I just did a whole bit about them beating Georgia. We have to move forward. You have to accept that Bama is walking in to Athens and beating the Georgia Bulldogs again.
That'll be a fun. I'll remember this. By the way, I'll remember this.
I hope you and Sam lead the shows that Monday after an apology tour on the Alabama.
I think they'll lose to LSU.
They'll what?
I think they'll lose to LSU.
I can see that.
They'll lose to LSU.
LSU at home though.
Yeah, that game's always weird and
LSU,
close.
though, this year.
I like LSU too, but I don't see. LSU's 2 losses in my eyes, without a doubt, would be Clemson and Alabama. I just don't think
Florida too.
But Florida's week 3 at home for LSU. LSU's not going to lose that coming off a loss to Clemson.
I don't know. I think LSU's beating Clemson, losing to Florida.
We disagree with that too.
Clemson's winning that game.
I took it at -3. It's 4.5 now. I've got some good value on it.
Eventually, LSU's got to break this streak. Eventually, they got to do it.
Clemson's a national. Clemson is a top 2 roster in America. It's them and Penn State.
I think top. I wouldn't go top 2 roster. I would say the top end of their roster is that, but they don't have the depth that the other top programs do. They don't have the depth of Bama. They don't have the depth of Georgia, Texas.
They have maybe the best quarterback in the country. They have the best 3-headed trio of wide receivers. They have an incredible linebacker room. They're very good up front, and they have an above-average secondary.
Who would you take in a neutral site, Tennessee or Clemson right now?
Clemson.
Oh my! Clemson by 2 touchdowns.
I think I'd probably take Tennessee.
Oh my gosh!
In a neutral site, I think I'm taking Tennessee in a neutral site game.
Clemson is so much better than Tennessee right now.
Got to see it. I don't think Clemson matches up well with Tennessee.
Where do they beat them?
Oh, they run the ball down their throats. And so this leads us
run it right into TJ Parker.
That's fine. But here's the thing. As people got to understand, S&P Plus, final model. Did you know Tennessee came out at Bill Connolly's model has them as a number 4 overall defense in 2025. That's better than Georgia. I think Tennessee could absolutely give Cade Klubnik and company problems. Texas obviously beat Clemson last year, and I'm not saying their rosters are identical. Tennessee in the blue chip ratio now, the talent is basically the same if you look at the amount of blue chippers on both rosters right now. I think maybe a healthy Dramad would make things a little bit different in my eyes, but I do think Tennessee I would pick right now in a neutral site to beat Clemson. I got to see it to believe it on the Clemson.
Clemson has a better secondary. I mean, like McCoy,
better secondary than who?
McCoy might have McCoy might be the best player overall, but Ashton Hampton's right behind him.
Yeah.
Avion Terrell is really, really good. I mean, I don't want
Ricky
any
Gibson
part.
might be taking the leap here. Colton Hood looks like a plug-and-play
their
guy.
linebacker room is just extremely good. Like, they got that guy from Purdue, Will Helt. He's very good.
Sammy Brown,
we have
guy Tennessee was going.
We have a pretty good linebacker room too. So
just young. Yeah. And we'll talk about one guy who might be making the 2 deep here from Patrick Brown and Cobalt 247. But yeah, the Arion Carter has to stay healthy for the full year because you saw the last 2 years when Keenan Peely went down, it was a different deal, and they really, really need Arion to be healthy, and they need Edwin Spillman to be healthy for the full year.
Tennessee would be Penn State on a neutral site?
No.
Okay.
No.
That was a good test.
Hold on. The orange tinted glasses only go so far. They're different shades for different teams.
I mean, Clemson is a top 3 team in America, though, and you think that they would beat them on a neutral site?
Yes.
So if Syracuse wasn't playing, it was Clemson instead.
Yes. And the opener, it's a little bit tougher, but yeah.
That's a neutral site.
I know, but I'm saying Dramad, because if you get them in the middle of the year with a healthy Dramad, I feel a little bit better. I feel with that receiver room that Clemson's going to toss out. If you have Ricky, McMurray, Hood, and Dramad, then yes, I would take Tennessee to be able to lock them down.
Clemson's wide receiver room versus Tennessee's wide receiver room is like varsity versus JV.
Hold on. And then there was another that was unnecessary. But also, the number 2 part of it is that Tennessee, do you know that they were the only SEC school last year to not give up a pass play of 40-plus yards last year? The only one.
Well, Bryant Wesco, TJ Moore, and that one of them is breaking through and they're scoring it.
No, they're not, because Tim Banks doesn't allow it. Like, it's not happening. They don't give up the big play.
Does that include the college football playoff?
What about the college football playoff?
I mean, Ohio State had a couple of, it might not have been 40 yards, but it might have been 39.
Yards. Yeah, it wasn't 40. Wasn't 40.
I'm as big a Tennessee fan as anybody. I don't think they're beating Clemson. I don't even think they would.
Garrett's speechless over here. The Clemson-Tennessee talk has just left it. I mean, William was shaken from the Ty Simpson-Alabama talk, and then William.
Well, Clemson is also my national title pick. Like, I told you that a couple weeks ago. Like, I think they're going to win the national title this year.
I think I got Jackson on my side.
Cade Klubnik versus Joey Aguilar? Are you kidding me?
No tape on Joey.
But there's really no point to compare the 2 quarterbacks. I mean,
the last tape we saw from Cade Klubnik, he diced up the Texas defense. That was one of the top in the country.
Cade Klubnik has had the best development of a quarterback in over 2 years that I've seen of an NFL prospect in a very long time. Yeah. He was horrible his freshman year. Terrible. And now he's the favorite to win the Heisman.
We'll see. We'll see.
It's a pretty weak group of quarterbacks, though.
Weak group of quarterbacks? We got to go to break.
William's going to quit the show. Stick with us. This is The Chase right here on Fan Run Radio, Fox Sports Knoxville, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM, and always streaming for free on the Fan Run Radio app. Call Texas 865-966-3435 is the way to do so. 865-966-3435 is the way to do so. And also streaming over there on our YouTube channel. Make sure you like and subscribe if you're watching us there. Fan Run Sports on YouTube. Check us out there as well. Stick with us. It's The Chase right here on a Monday afternoon.
For the fans, by the fans, this is Fan Run Radio, Knoxville.
Attention service members and veterans. Introducing the Griffin Law Firm, your trusted ally in military legal matters. From court martials to benefit claims, at Griffin Law, your mission is their mission. Here's VFL Marshall Griffin.
As a veteran and retired military attorney, I've successfully defended lifelong benefits and helped preserve professional futures. So I know that when you hire a military justice lawyer, you maximize your chance to get relief. With my unique experience, I can advocate for you because there's no military matter that's too big or too small. Let us help you make these critical decisions that could affect the rest of your life. Remain silent. Request counsel. Call Griffin Law.
For a free consultation, call 888-707-4282. That's 888-707-4282. Or just visit griffinlawdefense.com.
Got a problem tree looming over your home? Call ECR Total Landscapes. Whether it's trimming, removal, or storm cleanup, our certified pros get the job done safely and efficiently. We're licensed, insured, and ready 24/7 for emergency calls. Big or small, we cut them all. ECR Total Landscapes. Call now for a free estimate, 865-384-2012, and mention promo code FANRUN for free stump grinding on any tree removal now through the end of the year. Also, visit us at ecrtotallandscapes.com.
Hi, I'm Bo Cregner with the Cregner Group of Realty Executives. You know, the real estate market, like all other markets impacted by the economy, is changing all the time. And it's never been more important to be personally represented by a trusted real estate specialist. I can't emphasize enough how important it is when selling or buying to be individually represented. Call me today for a free consultation. My number is 865-742-1035, and my website is bonowshouses.com.
When it's past high noon, it's time for a vodka soda made with a vodka you actually heard of. I'm talking White Claw vodka soda made with White Claw premium vodka. JB Smooth only drinks vodka soda made with the world's smoothest vodka.
And you can too. Pick you up a bottle of the triple wave filtered vodka that's been distilled 5 times. White Claw Premium Vodka comes in 4 flavors: black cherry, mango, pineapple, and just vodka. You haven't had vodka like this. No one has. White Claw Premium Vodka. Please drink responsibly.
Believe in family. Believe in your fellow man. Believe in honesty and an honest day's work. We do. We're Farm Bureau Insurance. And we don't just believe in Tennessee. We believe in Tennesseans. Farm Bureau Insurance. Tennessee's insurance company.
This is Baseball VFL Cody Brown. Farm Bureau Insurance is the official insurance for Tennesseans. Believe in me for all of your insurance needs. Give me a call at 865-992-3871.
Whether you are buying or selling a home or even looking for some land to build on and start a family, be sure to give Reed Emerson with Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate Heritage Group a shout. He is a longtime listener and supporter of Fan Run and has been serving the Mid-State for many years. Reed prides himself on his hassle-free and honest approach. And that's because he's not just chasing another commission. He wants what is best for his clients. Give Reed Emerson a call or text him today to get the process started. His number is 931-492-0418, or you can find him online at bhgheritagegroup.com.
Was fantastic
Can I
work.
clarify what I meant on that?
Yeah.
So I didn't mean a bad group of quarterbacks overall, but you got a lot of guys that are up there who just haven't really proved much.
Mhm.
And so I look at that when you say Cade Klubnik is the clear-cut number one quarterback. I mean, that doesn't say a whole lot to me because the other guy falls off drastically when he plays good competition up in Penn State. And you've got a bunch of guys who haven't really proved much. So
I would say Nussmeier, Klubnik are probably the 2 best returning QBs, and then it's Aller's right there.
But even
Aller has a much better wide receiver room, though, this year that he can throw the ball to.
Even Nussmeier, I mean, I don't know. I just want to see more out of them. I mean, Lagway, Lenore Sellers.
I was going to say, we're missing the
Nussmeier.
best quarterback in college football, which is DJ Lagway. Most accurate player on 20-plus yards down the field
Take away
last year.
his stats against Samford, and what is his stat line read?
I mean, he was still 6-1 as a starter. I mean, his one loss was to Georgia, and he left with the lead in the second quarter.
So like 9 touchdowns and 9 interceptions outside of that Samford game.
Dude's got a cannon. If DJ Lagway puts it all together and is healthy, Lagway is the scariest quarterback in America. Big Lagway guy. Y'all think I was high on Ty Simpson? DJ Lagway.
I mean, I like Lagway, too. I think he's a very good quarterback. if he cuts down the interception rate from last year and he stays healthy the entire season, he definitely will be a top 5 quarterback in the country.
Yeah.
But when we're talking about guys that have proven what they've done, obviously, yeah, I mean, he's not. I mean, this will be his first year where he plays an entire season, assuming that he can get through it healthy. So,
yeah, he's been banged up this summer too. It's just kind of concerning. It's just keeping him upright, man. Because it's interesting. Like that Deshaun Party would have been a perfect QB2 for them because they're still having that battle between the Yale transfer and old friend Harrison Bailey, where I think Harrison's actually losing that battle right now and looking like QB3. Aiden Mizell, is that his name? The backup from Yale, but who I think went in.
Mizell's the receiver.
What is his name?
Warner.
That's right. Aiden Warner.
They got another guy too, though. That's a true freshman.
Trinell Jones.
Yeah, Trinell Jones could be number 2.
But they had Deshaun Party, who averaged 9.1 yards per attempt through the air last year at Charlotte. And he ended up transferring again, and I think he's in the battle. I don't know if he's been named QB1 at Wake Forest yet, because between him and Robbie Ashford.
Yeah, gosh, Robbie Ashford.
He has played for a lot of college football teams.
Never give up on your dreams, kids. You can be like Robbie Ashford. Keep on playing.
TJ Finley. I mean, TJ Finley's the GOAT.
He's not playing anymore, though.
Oh, is he out? Is it? I thought he was going to start somewhere this fall.
No, he had that incident where he had the stolen car situation.
Oh.
And then get kicked off the Tulane team.
Tulane is where he was.
And Tulane said, let's get rid of that guy and let's bring in a good standing human from BYU.
Yeah. Have they named him QB1? Or is that battle still going?
It's between him and Caden Simonza, but
Simonza is the Ball State guy, right?
Yeah. I mean, he was the MAC freshman of the year. Like, he was really good.
Yeah.
But, Retzloff was obviously, one of the top QBs in the Big 12. I mean, he's going to win the battle. I mean, Tulane's really good.
Yeah. And I think Bear Bachmeier is replacing him at BYU, right?
Yeah, he just got named QB1.
Doesn't he have a crazy number? Does Bear have is he
67?
I think it's 47.
47?
Mm-hmm.
That's bonkers for a quarterback. 47 is a crazy quarterback number.
It's disgusting.
Yeah, they got a good running back. Does BYU?
They lost their top, Darius Lassiter's gone, and then Keelan Merriam's their special teams guy. He's in Miami now.
Yeah.
BYU, I mean, they could win the Big 12 this year.
I had them. They were a top 15 team for me until they lost Retzloff, and then now I can't even rank them. And the Big 12's too competitive to not have a quarterback.
I was listening to a pod talking about the Bachmeiers because there's Bear, and then the other brother. There's 3 of them, I think. Tiger, Bear,
wide receiver at Stanford.
But then the oldest one is Hank, and they were making jokes like, "How do you get Hank and then go to Bear and Tiger? Why did he not get an animal name?" It was, I think it was the cover 3 guys you were talking about. But yeah, it's Bear, Tiger, and then Hank. It's tough. I don't know what he did wrong to not get a animal nickname. But
for a second, I thought when we were talking about Bear, I thought you were about to mention Bear Alexander. And
he's at Oregon now, right? Is he Oregon?
It's somewhere.
7 schools in 7 years, I believe.
It is Bear. Yeah, he is at Oregon. That's it. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, hey, the guy, you got to keep trying. Keep taking swings, as William Patterson said. You just keep trying.
Yeah.
But as we continue on here, Savion Hyder making his prediction tomorrow. We were talking off air before we jumped on, William. It's been an interesting recruitment to follow now that it's down to Tennessee and Michigan. We'll see. It seems like the tea leaves are hinting towards Michigan, but again, we'll see. It's a super quiet recruitment. He hasn't talked for a year, and we have no idea ultimately where this thing's going to go. It seems like it's a Michigan-Tennessee thing to the very end, but I don't know where y'all are at. But to me, this was the one where I was glad they got Salisi Moa, top 50 athlete out of Utah. I think that was a sneaky important one, especially if you can't end up flipping Tristan Keys, the 5-star at Hattiesburg, Mississippi. But you have a situation this year where Tennessee is going to be able to run the football again with their 3-man unit of Star Thomas, of Peyton Lewis, who I'm super high on, Deshaun Bishop, if he can stay healthy. You've averaged 5 yards per carry all 4 years under Josh Heupel. Where you haven't gotten consistent production is at receiver the last 2 years. That is something where the money should be invested in the Moas, the Keys, that you just have to keep taking swings here because you have not identified the problem and you have not been able. This year is a big one for evals with Braylon Staley and Mike Matthews, but you have to spend there because ultimately tackles, their edge guys, this, that, and the other, that's your bread and butter. But running back is the one where you can moneyball, kind of like safety for Tennessee, where you're getting solid safety play. Will Brooks walk on safety last year, and he was really good. He was solid for you a season ago. I just think Tim Banks is going to make it work with the Andre Turrentines, the Wesley Walkers, the Jalen McCulloughs, the Tamarion McDonalds, the insert Idris Farouk here this year. Jalen McMurray, like they're going to be fine there. You don't have to spin big like Georgia with the KJ Boldens, the Malachi Starks of the world, and be one of the best teams. I mean, Tennessee will not start a 4-star safety in the backfield this year. And guess what? They're projected by S&P Plus to have the top 4 defense in all of college football. Like they know how to identify and develop those guys in the back end. And it seems like that's not where their NIL priorities are. But on the running back side of things, they haven't really done this with anybody, William. They haven't really gone after a 5-star back like a Hyder through 4 years of the Heupel era. And I just thought it was weird. Like, I just thought it was a weird rabbit hole. It doesn't mean I wouldn't take him. It doesn't mean I wouldn't be excited if he got him. But, man, Sar Thomas will be out of this year. You just plug in Dwan Morris, superstar from Oakland. And next year it's Bishop, Peyton Lewis, and Dwan Morris. Justin Baker still in the fold. Like, they'll be fine. Like, just keep getting 3- and 4-star guys, solid backs, and keep rotating, man. I just don't understand using a bunch of your NIL resources for a premier running back when you're able to dominate with our scheme the way that Heupel has through 4 years.
Yeah, Hyder's recruitment has really heated up over the last 3 weeks. If you asked me in early August, I believe that Hyder was going to be a Tennessee Volunteer, but Michigan has done a really good job of making a strong push for him over the last couple of weeks. And right now, my prediction is that Michigan will land Hyder. I think Tennessee has just lost too much ground over the last couple of weeks. Really, last 10 days is when a lot of this has unfolded. Michigan's got a couple of Virginia native players that have done a really good job pushing for him. And Hyder, being a Virginia native himself, has some ties already to the Wolverines. So I predict he goes to Michigan, which is unfortunate for Tennessee. Obviously, the 5-star moniker holds a lot of weight, and you start kind of lining up, okay, well, you got a Faison Brandon, you've got a possible Tristan Keys, you've got a Savion Hyder. You could find, 1, 2, 3, 5 stars at a quarterback, wide receiver, and running back and set up for a really intriguing offense. But right now, it seems Hyder will be with Michigan. But that doesn't mean that Tennessee is going to be at a complete loss this week or in the coming weeks. There was a lot of talk yesterday about Tristan Keys. Got tipped off on Friday about this. I think this is a strong signal for a possible flip. And that Adidas announcement last week is pretty particular for this Tristan Keys recruitment, because Tristan Keys is an Adidas athlete. And if you come over to Tennessee, which is now partnered with Adidas, you can be one of the focal points of one of the biggest brands in the world. I said it on Friday. I still believe it to be true right now. I believe Keys ends up switching to Tennessee at some point over the next couple of weeks. LSU, or at least reporting from Steve Wilfong, is saying that LSU still is in consistent conversation with him, feels good about it. But this has been trending Tennessee for a little bit now. I believe he makes the switch. Might not be this week, but it could be in the coming weeks. And I think that Adidas connection is going to play really big here.
What do you think, Garrett? What would you rather have, Hyder or Keys, if you only get one?
I'd rather have Keys. I think an explosive wide receiver that can be like I don't want to say generational, because that's not something, he's not expected to be a Jeremiah Smith or anything like that. But, I mean, if he can be in the conversation for wide receiver 1 in your wide receiver room as a freshman, which I think he definitely would be, I think you just have to take a chance on that. I mean, you see what those type of wide receivers have done. Ryan Williams last year, Jeremiah Smith, how much they add value to your team. And not that a running back can't do that, but like when you said this year, I mean, we have 3 deep in the running back room this year. You're probably going to be 3 deep next year. I know Dylan Sampson carried a lot of the load last year, but if you're going to be, rotating, having 2-3 running backs in the game, you don't really need one guy that's the star running back. You can kind of just do what you want with 2-3 guys. And to me, running back, not that running back is an easier position than other positions, but it's kind of like you can just give the guy the ball and he'll go, and whatever happens. You see a lot of running backs from G5 schools transfer up to Power 4 schools and have success. I don't think running back's a position where you have to get a 5-star top, 20 player in the country to come into your running back group. It's nice, but I would rather have a wide receiver.
Yeah, I would rather have a wide receiver, but I will say the sneaky one down the stretch that I really want Tennessee to close on is Tristan Gibbons or Hezekiah Harris. Tristan Gibbons, the 5-star Texas A&M commit from Georgia. He's over there at Carver. His coach, I believe, is actually Jarvis Jones, the Georgia linebacker legend. But 5-star guy that Tennessee was in deep with. They were in the final 2 for him. And then the other one, Hezekiah Harris, top 100 edge guy from Auburn. And if Auburn seems like if they go off the tracks this year, that's one where you could potentially flip. But Tennessee doesn't really have a star edge in this class. And they've stacked those star edges. Vestavia Hill's his own, Jordan Ross, 5-star 2 cycles ago. Then you have Caleb Herring, the number 1 player on the state of Tennessee, off the edge. Like, they've done a good job of stacking those guys. But because Florida just lost 2 Leos who could play for them this past cycle, because it's hard to keep all those guys happy, even with how much Coach Chop and Rodney Garner rotate. You can never have enough Leos. And I just think that's such a big part of Tennessee's quiet domination on defense that I am kind of worried a little bit that Zach Groves is your only real big-time Leo, and we'll see if he even sticks there because his size is huge. So I don't know if he's actually going to be a strong side defensive end or a Leo. But CJ Edwards, 3-star guy, but that's more of an upside long-term projection. Like, maybe you can get something out of him. But they don't really have a premier Leo in this class. So that's one to watch down the stretch, too, that I don't think a lot of folks are monitoring. But, yes, Keys and Hyder, super important. But to me, I kind of want to really make sure that we close on Gibbons or Harris. Flip one of those guys. And, I mean, honestly, if you had to ask me which one I'd rather have, Hyder or a flip of Harris or Gibbons, I'd much rather have a flip of Harris or Gibbons.
Well, especially with the potential that they have once they get in the building with Coach Chop and Coach Garner. I mean, those guys have continued to showcase so they can pump out really impressive college football players and take them to the NFL, where you had numerous guys this past class, just kind of boom throughout their time at Tennessee. And Omar Norman Lott comes over from Arizona State, kind of what at the time seemed like a depth piece, ends up getting pumped out into a top 3 round pick,
2nd rounder.
Yeah. So just stuff like that. I mean that's why I think it's a little surprising right now. You don't have that signature edge, because if you're an edge out there, where else are you looking other than Tennessee, where this is a group that has continuously put guys in the NFL? If that's your goal, and some guys' goal might just be, let's make some money in college with some NIL. But if I were a player and I'm an edge and I want to play in the NFL, I'd take a look at Tennessee because of the track record they have over the last couple of years.
When we come back, we'll react to Go Vols 247's Patrick Brown's depth chart projections that were released here today, what to make of them, and all that good stuff as we wrap up here. Hour number 2 on The Chase on a Monday. Stick with us as The Chase right here on Fan Run Radio, Fox Sports Knoxville, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM, and always streaming for free on that Fan Run Radio app.
Congratulations. You found sports radio that doesn't suck. This is Fan Run Radio, Knoxville.
Are you tired of hiding your smile because of crooked teeth? At Knoxville Smiles, we've got the perfect solution. Invisalign. No metal, no wires. Just clear, comfortable aligners that straighten your teeth without anyone noticing. Eat what you want, smile with confidence, and see results in as little as 6 months. Call us today for more information about Invisalign, 865-539-1776. Or just visit us online at knoxvillesmiles.com. Smile brighter with Knoxville Smiles.
Okay, so we really need uniforms and equipment for this season. Can I trust you with that? Cool, I'll just order them online. What? Yeah, I'm going to hop online and I'm going to get them ordered. Hold up. That's not a good idea. We shouldn't just spend money on some random online retailer, okay? I mean, it seems pretty convenient. Trust me, it's a terrible idea. Let me simplify this for you. SM Athletics. Okay, how do you pronounce it? SM Athletics? They're the go-to for uniforms and equipment, whether it's for universities, high schools, youth leagues, you name it. So why wouldn't you rather go with professionals who can guide us through the process, design the perfect uniforms, and deliver the best equipment? Yeah, I guess that makes sense. What's the name again? SM Athletics. Right. It's definitely smarter to go with a company that emphasizes customer service, fair pricing, and, of course, excellent products. Exactly. So, yeah, I guess it's settled then. For uniforms and equipment for all sports, it's SM Athletics.
Barley's has live music on weekends, general team trivia on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m., and now live sports trivia, courtesy of the Knoxville Trivia Guys, every Thursday night upstairs. The game starts at 7 p.m. and is free to play for everyone, so head on down to the Old City and show off your sports knowledge and win gift cards to Barley's. Use those gift cards to buy some delicious food and drinks, and you can take it all in with their wide selection of TVs and indoor projectors. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
Rickard Ridge Barbecue, located in beautiful Cove Lake State Park. Rickard Ridge is home of the best ribs in the Volunteer State. Smoked daily by Pitmaster Mark Rickard. The barbecue at Rickard Ridge is mouth-watering, fall-off-the-bone delicious. Take the scenic drive up I-75 to exit 134. For directions and to look at the rest of the menu, visit Rickard Ridge online at rickardridgebbq.com.
Hey Knoxville, Surfside iced tea and vodka made with real brewed tea is only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar with no bubbles and no troubles. That's right, zero carbonation, so it's easy to sip and enjoy. Headed to a game day or party at a friend's house? Bring an iced tea or lemonade variety pack from Surfside or try their green tea and new raspberry tea vodka. Find the can with the sunset stripes this season. Surfside iced tea and vodka, sold at bars, restaurants, and stores near you. Surfside iced tea and vodka, sunshine in a can. Must be 21 or older. Enjoy responsibly.
What are you going to do with your old car? You can try selling it, you could junk it, or you can donate it to Heritage for the Blind. Your car will be towed away for free, and your donation is tax deductible. Just call 1-800-639-8620. Heritage for the Blind accepts cars, vans, trucks, and boats. It doesn't matter if your vehicle runs or not. It'll be towed away for free, and you'll be supporting those that need help. Heritage for the Blind is a nonprofit organization that helps the visually impaired live fuller lives. Call right now to donate your car. And as a special thank you for calling, you'll receive a free 3-day vacation voucher to many exciting locations. Call Heritage for the Blind right now. Call 1-800-639-8620. Donating is easy, and your vehicle is towed away for free. Plus, you'll get a free vacation voucher. Call now, 1-800-639-8620. That's 1-800-639-8620.
It's the Chase right here on Fan Run Radio, Fox Sports Knoxville, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM, and always streaming for free on that Fan Run Radio app. Wrapping up here, hour number 2 with William Pattison, overtime 6 to 8, right here on Fan Run Radio, Monday through Friday in studio. Patrick Brown, friend of the program, does a great job covering the Vols over there on 247 Sports, covering the Vols, and I wanted to kind of do a deep dive here in what you thought of his projected depth chart. And he does have the caveat now because David Hobbs, unfortunately, is going to miss some time for Tennessee, which is quietly, when you were talking about Omar a lot, that's where my mind went originally for this fall, William, is that I think he had that ability of any of the interior guys who were going to play a lot of snaps to be the Omar Norman lot on third down. Like, I think he has that pass rushing chops that they're going to miss, because I don't think Jackson Moy and or Bryson Eason are those guys you're going to rely on an interior on third downs, big time third downs, like passing downs. That is not where you want to be. You want to be David Hobbs probably in that spot, but he's out, and we'll see what the timetable is like for his return. But that's a quiet, sneaky, big issue for Tennessee, especially against Georgia early on, because you have so many question marks. When you look at this depth chart, you look behind Eason and Moy, I mean, guys that you like, but Josh Shell, we have no idea what it's going to look like for him making the jump up from FCS to FBS. Nathan Robinson, good player, looks the part, hasn't been able to stay healthy through his couple seasons at Tennessee. It's year 3 for him. Carson Gentle has not played a significant snap yet. You like him. Adam McCauley, maybe he can do something. But Charles House, true freshman, got here as a spring summer enrollee, so he's not someone who you expect to factor in. Joakim Dodson was the other one. Most guys come in here in the winter. But I'm looking around. I mean, Ethan Utley, true freshman. Jamal Wallace, JUCO transfer. This will be a big step up in competition for him. Seems like he's probably the early benefactor from David Hobbs not being available early. Then Isaiah Campbell, who big time 5-star interior guy. I love Utley and Campbell going forward. I just think as true freshmen, that's asking a lot to throw them in the mix like this. And David Hobbs, borderline 4 or 5-star guy. He was year 3. It was just breakout written all over it for Hobbs this year. And I just hate it for him because he's super competitive kid, good player out of North Carolina. And it just felt like this was the year where it's going to break down. Doesn't mean it can't happen later on, but just foot injuries can be dicey. And it just stinks because I think the interior of the defensive line, I don't love right now.
And correct me if I'm wrong, there's not a for sure timeline
Yeah.
on Hobbs, correct?
Yeah, they just said a couple weeks.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that's.
And you know we're never going to get an accurate timeline until he disappears and we're like, oh, David Hobbs is out there. I guess he's back.
Well, I still don't know what Chris Brazel's injury was for the first 2 weeks of camp. Still don't know what Jeremiah McCoy's timeline is. They keep us media people in the dark on a lot of that stuff.
Jermod's going to be an or out of the gate, man. They're going to keep that
Oh,
thing.
I know.
Jermod
Or,
is-
yeah. Oh, don't it? You know, that just gave me PTSD.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about the or.
Cooper Mays, or remember last year it was like Cooper Mays in the opener. They had Cooper Mays as a possibility. We didn't see Cooper till when? Week 4? Week 5?
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be silly, but it's the mind games type deal. But yeah, I think that it's a way around the depth chart stuff is the or. It's like Jermod or. So
Yeah. My favorite is when it's like or. And it's like 5 guys could all start. Yeah, I mean, interior wise, I really liked Isaiah Campbell. I think he could be one of the next, big time hits for Ronnie Garner and staff. And, if Hobbs is not able to be available, if Hobbs is hobbled per se, I think that's a good opportunity for Campbell to get some early runs. And again, we've talked about this on the offensive side a couple of times. It's really big if you're able to find like an offensive lineman that's either a freshman starter or a redshirt freshman starter, and you've got for like 2 to 3 years. Maybe you could find that in Campbell if he's able to be good in these first couple of games, to where for the next 2 seasons heading into the year, like, oh, Isaiah Campbell's going to be there. So I think there are some positives to it. Obviously, you want to start off the season as fresh as possible. But as we know, injuries are a part of it. And if you suffer another injury middle of the season, you can have a guy like Campbell that's already had experience and has already been there a couple of times earlier in the year, filling in spots. So I'm not really worried about the defensive line per se and some of the defensive pieces, because I think you've recruited at a good enough level there. Now, where I start to get worried is looking at the offensive line depth, looking at the wide receiver depth. I think those are interesting points, because the running back room, I think anyone could start and I'd be fine with it, because I just know the running back room, you're always going to get the production necessary in this type of offense. And you go about 1, 2, 3 guys deep anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I'm more so looking wide receiver, offensive line. Those are bigger concerns for me right now.
So you're going to be the expert here. I'm going to toss this to you.
Okay.
Because the projected starters to Patrick Brown here, Arian Carter, Jeremiah Thielander, no surprises there. Edward Spillman, first guy off the bench, redshirt freshman, like he might end up being the starter for Thielander at some point in the year. It also might not matter. Like James Pierce didn't start 2 years ago and still led the team in sacks. Like it doesn't matter. Like even if Roman Harrison, quote unquote, starts, it's all about how many snaps and what you do with the snaps, because they're going to rotate. Like they rotate on the defensive line, they rotate at linebacker. The big surprise here, I think, to a lot of all fans is who Patrick Brown has as number 2 in the 2 deep for linebacker beside Evan Spillman. It's redshirt junior walk-on Ben Bolton from Memphis.
Yeah.
What can you tell us as a Memphis native about Ben Bolton, the walk-on from, let's see here, Lausanne Collegiate School? Is that close by to where you grew up?
Same place Eric Gray played.
Same place Eric Gray played. Also,
good call.
That's where Max Gilbert played, starting kicker, and used to be about 2 minutes away from where I grew up. But a good school. I mean, they got some good athletics. They've done a good job there. But Bolton's a guy that's just worked his tail off in practice, and I think has earned the opportunity, similar to Will Brooks, to be in line if the opportunity presents itself.
So you wouldn't be surprised if he gets some serious run this fall?
I would be surprised if he got serious run, but I wouldn't be surprised if he filled in a void and was able to be, kind of a Will Brooks-esque type player. Just a guy that, oh gosh, he's in, the former walk-on's in, and you're like, oh wow. That's the guy that works his tail off, understands this defense, has been there for a while. Like, some kids like that will try out or walk on to an SEC school or whatever it may be. And then after a couple or maybe a season where they don't play, they're like, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of waking up at 6 a.m. Those are the type of mentally strong guys that can continue to go to practice every day, knowing damn well they're not playing at any point this season, but they continue to stick around and wait for the opportunity. That's what Ben Bolton has done. Would I be surprised if he ended up being a big role this year? Yes. But if he does have to fill in, those are the type of mentally strong people that you can say, you know what, this guy's earned his chance.
Yeah. When you look at the secondary depth, though, without Boo Carter, because he does this without Boo, Does it look a little concerning to you, especially when you look at safety and star? Because
of course, yeah.
I would feel better at corner if you have Jalen McMurray there because you're super young. Like they can like Ty Redmond out of Milton all they want, but again, that's a true freshman guy, and it's like that's your number 3 potentially early on, and we don't know when Tremad's gonna be back. So, and Colton Hood, this is a new system. He's a spring enrollee. Like he could have a great spring and summer, but it's going to be different. Like he played at Colorado last year. It's going to be a different kind of competition for him, especially against Georgia and those receivers that they're going to toss out. Like you hope you have Dramad back, but again, we have no idea. I just think the best case scenario, like when we think about like guys being back, man, Boo's sneaky. Even if it does, I don't really care about the next year. I do not care.
Yeah.
It's about this year, and I just don't know if with Dramad not being 100%, Boo not being available early on could be a problem just because you're looking at this. It's like there's talent there, but it's super young, super unproven, and it could get dicey in a hurry with one more injury to that back end.
Well, I think that further exemplifies how big of a deal it was that Boo Carter was potentially leaving this team.
Yeah.
And outside of the talking points of it, and, you know, everyone kind of getting riled up about what Boo's mom has said or, you know, what Josh Heupel's doing wrong or whatever it may be. There were a lot of talking points coming out of that. But the biggest thing to me was you need this guy to play.
Yeah.
This is a big loss if you end up losing him because he is one of your best players defensively. And when you look at the depth chart, without Boo Carter involved in it, you're like, oh, wow. Yeah, it is a little bit of a big deal that he almost left this team. So it's big that he stuck around. It's big that you still have him involved. And, you know, he's going to go through his process of getting back into the team. You know, there have been a couple of reports saying that he's done a good job, a couple of reports saying that he's still got room to improve, whatever it may be. He's going to play at some point this season. And if it's not against Syracuse and it's not against ETSU, I'd probably bet that Josh Heupel puts the pride aside and says, all right, Georgia, we're playing, and we're going to win a football game. That's what we're here to do. So when you look at that right now, it just further tells me how big of a deal it was that you were able to keep him at least on the roster for the year.
Yeah, it's just like we're big NBA guys. It's just like contract year guys, like the expiring contracts. It's like I don't care about the Boo next year type deal. Like and he needs to be on this team this year because you're just so thin without him.
And they usually play a lot stronger too,
yes.
a lot better. Like contract year players is always funny in the NBA. You're like, man, that guy just was on.
Yeah.
And then they'll get paid and you're like, oh, they've kind of gone back to reality. Maybe Boo Carter might not do that. This is a little bit different in college, but he's probably not going to be on this team next year.
Yeah.
He's kind of playing for a check this year.
And like you said, it's motivation. Lance Hurd, big time year for him. If he breaks out at left tackle,
yeah,
it could be a first round guy
at
tackle. Yeah. He has that kind of size and frame coming in from LSU. So a lot of big contract years for Tennessee. Garrett, what do you think when you look at this depth chart? Is there anything that stands out to you that kind of you're like, huh, interesting?
No, I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head on pretty much everything. I mean, you know, whoever steps up when someone's injured and, you know, has the right to play, you know, if someone's out injured, it's just next man up mentality, and you got to be able to perform at your best when you're in the 2 deep and you come up to be the starter that game.
I would also throw out Jackson, the offensive line. It just, no matter what they find, their best five, whether it's Jesse Perry at right guard or Sam Pendleton at center, you look at the depth there. Satterwhite and Umarov, 2 big-time backups potentially. Even if Satterwhite, you wanted him to win that job. Like, you have a lot of options. Bennett Warren, big year 2 for him. Max Anderson, Nick Moore, Jeremiah Hurd, gigantic in his second year. Biggest, I mean, the guy looks like $1 million bucks. Gage Ginther back for his second year. A lot of blue chip guys in that room. And I just think that room's progressively gotten a lot better in terms of the talent and the depth behind them. Even if this is not the right 5 out of the gate, I think you're going to be okay with how Glenn Ellerby is going to be able to mix and match to find that best 5. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm really excited to see what the offensive line looks like this year, whether it is Pendleton taking the start at center or Satterwhite and Pendleton's out of guard. I think this is the best group of guys we've had in a while, especially probably in Josh Heupel's system. So I'm just excited to see how it works.
You look everywhere. I think they're just fine. I mean, the tight end too. Like, I think a lot of people are like, oh, Carson Snead. Now we don't have a tight end in the class. We'll see if Lincoln Watkins, the 3-star commit.
Carson Snead's not anything we're missing.
Oh,
he plays at DCA. That's a 1A school in Nashville. That's around my part. They have a lot of 3-4 star guys that come out of there that they end up playing NAIA football by the time they're seniors. So,
I like some fire there. That's good, Jackson. I like that.
To wrap up on a Monday, Jackson out of nowhere.
I know he made up for that grenade he threw right before he went to the break.
Oh my gosh, that was out of nowhere. But yeah, goodness gracious. Great show today. William Pattison right here on a Monday. Thank you for joining us. Thank you to intern Jackson for jumping on his first time right here on the Chase. Thank you to Garrett as well. Full House, The Drive with Russell Smith and the Bears up next. Chase is back tomorrow at 1 p.m. with Ryan Shumpert, Rocky Top Insider. Have a wonderful afternoon, East Tennessee.